previously built a functional bus route and the new mall for Velare City. Today, we're scaling things up with 3 of my best buildings by far, and a fully functional 3-line cable car network. To make this all possible, I'm using an array of mods, but most notably, the Minecraft Transit Railway mod. So let's get to building. I started off by terraforming the area above Velare City, where the cable car interchange station which will connect the 3 lines will be built. If you're wondering how I do this kind of terraforming, it's done by using the Axiom mod. To create a functional cable car line in Minecraft, I'm going to be using the Minecraft Transit Railway mod. I built a temporary siding to start off so that I could remind myself of the cable car dimensions before building the route and stations. I ended up going with these French cable cars because I liked the design and thought they'd suit the network well. With that decided, I moved on to creating the pillar designs which will be used across the whole network. You might have noticed I'm using sloped blocks. These are part of Create's Copycat Plus mod. I then started building the first cable car station. This will serve the shortest line on the network, linking Velare to the cable car interchange station. There won't be any barriers for this first cable car line as I'm planning to build residential buildings around the interchange station in the future, in which case it should be free of charge. I then placed the pillars for the line leading up to where the interchange station will be built. Before I go any further, I made a small mistake in building the network initially. Instead of 3 separate lines, I originally built a single continuous loop line. I'm guessing due to some kind of limitations in the cable car programming, having a single line with more than 2 stations caused the cars to overshoot speed limits and stations. Hence why I decided to separate the network into 3 individual lines instead. So if you see me skipping over some of the building, it's because I changed it all later on. Moving back to the east side of the mountain, I started building the East Viewpoint Station. I plan to add buildings and attractions at the viewpoint stations in the future, but for now, I'll just focus on the stations themselves. I built supports using the rusted factory block from the XK Deco mod, as I thought the color helped blend the build into the surrounding nature. I then built an elevator shaft on the north side of the station, which leads to an underpass, and another elevator on the other side, which takes you to the concourse and westbound platform. I then went back and removed the previous sections of line and the first iteration of the interchange station. I went for a 2-floor station design with the line linking Velare and the interchange station on the first floor and the east and westbound lines on the second floor. Before working on the station, I rebuilt the westbound line. And to ensure the cable cars were all working correctly now, I first separated the network into 3 different depots in the cable car dashboard and created 3 different routes for the separate lines. If you hadn't noticed, I named the cable car network the Velare Skyline. I've recently partnered with the Minecraft Transit Railway mod themselves, so if you need help creating your own transport networks, join their Discord linked in the description and watch out for future Twitch streams. But now, let's test out the Skyline East line to make sure everything is working correctly. Bear with me here, I know it looks like another bland Velare terminal type build, but I do try and add a little more detail with the interchange station. After finishing the platform layouts and basic design, I moved to the back of the station to build the concourse. I added elevators and escalators, which are also included in the Minecraft Transit Railway mod. I then worked on adding more detail to the roof and exterior of the build, once again utilizing the Copycats Plus mod for more shape variety, followed by adding various lighting to the interior. I added ticket barriers in the corridor connecting the Skyline Link line to the main concourse, as the east and west lines will be paid for. With the interchange station complete, I moved on to the final station on the cable car network, the West Viewpoint Station. These roof blocks are once again from the XK Deco mod. If you want access to all the various blocks and mods I use, head over to my Discord server, linked in the description, where you can find my custom mod pack I use for this series. With the cable car network mostly complete, I moved back down to Velare, where I'm now creating the next build for the city. I started off by deciding which colors I would use for the build. The idea for this building is to do an apartment combined with a hotel. This type of layout is sometimes seen around areas in Asia, not really sure about the rest of the world. Anyways, my overall aim with this build was not to leave any areas empty and to make the lobby and other areas more detailed than my previous skyscrapers, whilst also trying to avoid dull colors. I initially thought I'd build a small restaurant in this area, however I later decided I would build a staircase here leading up to a bar and restaurant. For the first bar in Velare City, I went for a high ceiling design with tall thin windows to help it feel more open and spacious. I'm using the connecting netherite block from the re-chiseled mod for the accents and structure, as I think it contrasts the bricks well and helps add to the modern, luxury feel of this building. I wanted this restaurant to have more style than my previous restaurant builds, so I used different flooring and walls than the other rooms in the building, specifically pulverized cobblestone from the re-chiseled mod for the flooring and Aztec blocks from XK Deco for the walls. Most of the furniture I use is from Paladin's furniture mod, as it utilizes most of the blocks you have, including some modded blocks, to create tons of variations for tables, chairs, and so on. So with the restaurant finished, I went back and added some details to the staircase area, including some vegetation and paintings. Later on, I add immersive paintings to my mod pack, so I may add custom paintings here in the future. To start off, I designed the first hotel-style rooms. These will simply include a living room area, bathroom, and bedroom. On the east side of the build, I added 3 smaller single bedrooms and a 2-bedroom at the end of the building. Moving to the west side, I started off with a larger, more luxury style hotel room. I then built another smaller hotel room and finally the first apartment style room with a kitchen. This layout is a bit strange, but hey, it is Minecraft after all. I decided to make this layout cover 6 floors in total. The building will then be separated by a sky garden and pool area on the 7th floor, followed by a further 4 floors featuring luxury apartment style rooms. The first luxury-style apartment room will feature a large joined living room and kitchen area, and a bedroom with a large ensuite bathroom including a bath and shower. Some of the furniture used here comes from the Modern Decorations mod, another mod that I've used a lot in this series, with a wide variety of cool furniture. And for the final room design in this build, I went for a duplex type room, with huge windows offering stunning views over the city. I built the living room and kitchen to be on the lower floor with a wooden staircase leading up to the bedroom and bathroom. This is definitely my favorite style room so far in the series. I finished off by adding some more detail and structure to the exterior of the build, followed by creating the entrance. I'm really happy with how this build came out. I think it's been a great step forward in the quality of my builds compared to my previous skyscraper attempts. Before moving on to the next buildings, I went back to Velare Mall and built a small park featuring a hard court. Now it was time for Valare's first office building. I'm going for a modern design, utilizing lighter blocks, lots of windows, and I'm aiming to include some kind of green space on each floor. Starting with the interior on the first floor, I decided to build a Starbucks next to the entrance, as I see this often in office buildings I've visited. I built a small office on the east side of the building, including a conference room and a small work area. I kind of repeat this layout for the later offices in this build, just with slight varying designs. On the second floor, I first decided that I wanted to add a dental clinic. I then moved on to building the second office, with glass dividing a room for the bosses or owners of whatever business resided here, a work area, a break area, and a small conference or meeting room. In a recent comment, one of my viewers recommended I add lighting to the exterior of my builds, so for this office building I added lighting surrounding the exterior. It looks amazing at night, but you'll have to wait for the end cinematics to see for yourself. For the third floor, I built a sky garden for workers of the offices to stretch their legs and get some fresh air during their breaks. I also added another cafe, this time with a kitchen, as it'll be serving food as well. I then built a large office covering the entire 4th floor with 3 separate private rooms for the managers or bosses, a large work area, and a rest area. The conference or meeting rooms for this office will be built on the 5th floor, along with some more green space and outdoor seating. With the office building complete, my mind went blank on what to build next. After a short break and some brainstorming, I came up with the idea to let ChatGPT decide the design of my next build. I first uploaded a screenshot of where I wanted the next build to be. Then I asked ChatGPT to create a few various image prompts for buildings I could create in that area. I sent the designs it came up with to my Discord server, where I let the community decide which build I should try to replicate. Obviously, the design that won the most reactions was also the most difficult one to replicate. However, a vote's a vote, so I pursued with this design anyway. This build will be a large mall with a hotel placed in the center, featuring abstract designs and lots of green space. The complex architecture was achieved by once again using the Copycats Plus mod for the vertical slope blocks to create the smooth diagonal shapes. I used grey concrete for the walls and orange terracotta for the accents. I think this matches best to the design ChatGPT gave me. With the basic design pretty much finished, I moved on to creating the windows using black glass blocks from the Connected Glass mod. To ensure the glass wouldn't connect horizontally, I alternated between using full blocks and 2 copycat slabs to form a full block. Before working on the mall itself, I wanted to get the hotel interior mostly finished. I started with building an emergency stairwell and the lift shafts. I'm going for a somewhat luxury hotel, so the first few floors will only feature 2 rooms, with the higher floors only having 1. Due to the staggered shape of the hotel, I slightly changed the layout for the next 2 floors, but kept a somewhat consistent design. And now for the last floor layout in the build. This will feature potentially the largest hotel room in Velare City, with a large bathroom, bedroom, and living room combined by stunning views across the entire city. Moving on, I built a small sky pool and added some detail to the roof, followed by building a larger pool on the ground floor of the hotel. I then started adding some vegetation on the roof of the build and in the sky gardens. Staying true to ChatGPT's version of the build, I created a small patio area with a water feature and walkway on the side of the building. I then moved to the interior of the mall, where I started in the diagonal section on the east side of the building. I added a placeholder depot and spawned in the front car from the blue line trains. This will become a somewhat centerpiece feature of the mall. Back at the entrance, I added in the escalators, leading from the first floor all the way up to the hotel lobby area. Since the area at the bottom of the hotel was quite small, I decided to put the lobby a floor below, still providing access to the hotel garden area and the lower level pool via escalators and elevators. Having now added the Mishang Urban Construction mod to my mod pack, I changed the lighting above the train feature back in the diagonal section of the mall. I then added some vegetation around the elevators to help make the interior feel less dull, and moved on to creating a small grocery store next to the entrance of the mall. Beside the grocery store, I added some public toilets. I guess I'd forgotten to record, but I changed the exterior of the grocery store slightly as well. And you might have guessed this was coming, but I'm now building the third Starbucks in Velare City. I plan to add realistic signage and branding in the future. Since I don't have any realistic clothing mods available, I had an idea to build a clothing shop using armor stands with different types of armor and various trims. I had to remind myself on how to build a rotating armor stand showcase, so I built it outside the mall, and once I was happy with the design, I moved it back inside to the second floor. I then decided to build a somewhat Asian-themed restaurant. I originally wanted to use a resource pack which adds rotating sushi conveyors, but decided against it as I wasn't pleased with how the sushi plates moved on the belts. Maybe I set it up wrong, but oh well. I was running out of time for the release of this episode, so I went back to the exterior of the build and lined the orange terracotta with light source blocks to give the effect that the orange accents light up. To tie the build into the surrounding nature, I started adding in some vegetation using a mix of pine and redwood trees from the Biomes O Plenty mod. Leading up the mountain, I started to add in some cypress trees, also from Biomes O Plenty, and spruce trees to signify the cooler climate higher up. Before we lead into the ending cinematics, I wanted to mention that I've started doing TikTok live streams. Here I'll be showcasing some of the building less suited to the YouTube episodes, such as root building and completing unfinished interiors from previous builds. If you're interested in seeing some behind the scenes of the series, drop me a follow on TikTok and watch out for future streams. With that being said, let's have a look at what we've built in today's episode. And that concludes episode 5 of the Indus Metropolis series. I'm extremely happy with how Velare City is coming together and look forward to continuing progress with the series. A final note before we finish for today, I'm hosting a £50 gift card giveaway for surpassing 500 subscribers on YouTube. If you wish to enter, join my Discord server linked in the description and react to the pinned message in the announcements channel. As always, thank you for watching and feel free to like, subscribe and comment any thoughts you may have.